オビワンから父親のことは聞いておらぬだろう、ルーク。
話は聞いてるさ。お前が父を殺したと。
違う。お前の父はわしだ。
嘘だ。嘘だ。そんなの嘘だ。そんなことあるもんか。
心を読んでみよ。本当だとわかるはずだ。
嘘だ。
Hey guys, today we're going to be taking a look at Boku no Barrage. Now, I know what you're saying right off the bat. Hold your horses. Isn't this a little unfair? Okay, you're taking a look at a series that got cancelled very early in its run. Obviously, it's not going to be up to the standard of a series that had plenty of time to develop its story and characters. Obviously, the ending is going to be rushed and messy. You know, it's just not fair, okay? Give the man a break. Now, I won't disagree with you. You kind of have a point, but ever since I first heard about this series, I was kind of interested in checking it out. And now that the whole Shonen Jump service is a thing, and I had access to the whole series for pretty much nothing, I figured why not? 16 chapters, let's give it a try. So Barrage is a shonen battle manga written and illustrated by Kohei Horikoshi. And in 2012 it was serialized for a whopping 4 months in Weekly Shonen Jump before getting the axe. Now, here's the thing though, usually series that get cancelled, no one gives a shit about it afterwards. Even if it's by an author like Horikoshi who would go on to make like a massively popular series. Who gives a shit about Barrage? Seriously. Well, apparently Viz Media did, as they figured that it was worthy of a physical English release. This greatly puzzled me, and it was kind of the main reason I wanted to check it out. You're saying, hold on, this is the guy who wrote My Hero Academia? Of course they're going to release his old series, that just makes sense. Yeah, I know what you're saying, but here's the thing. They actually released this in English before My Hero was even a thing. It's just so weird to me. Like, here you have this series that failed to attract pretty much any audience in Japan. I guess Viz just thought it would do really well here for some reason? I don't know. But like I said, I've just always been interested in checking it out. I've heard people say that if this wasn't cancelled, it would have become something really great. That's some bullshit. Let's get into the review. So right off the bat, starting off with a classic, subtle Horikoshi Star Wars reference, we learn that our story takes place in a far-off galaxy on the planet of Industria, a planet that is currently under alien attack. Like, aliens are showing up, trying to invade the shit, you know, all that good stuff. Our main protagonist is Astro, a boy who lives in the slums of the capital of Industria. He doesn't have any parents, no one to look after him. Instead, he looks after many orphaned children. He has a job, he makes low wages, tries to provide for them. It's hard, but they get by. Things are about to change though, because one night, Astro comes into contact with the Prince of Industria, who is currently running away from the castle. He introduces himself as Prince Barrage, and they both can't help but notice that they're on some doppelganger shit. They both look and sound completely identical. So then Barrage is like, listen man, fuck the castle, let's pull a Netflix original movie starring Vanessa Hudgens' The Princess Switch. Astro's like, nah man, I got the family here, I got all the orphans to feed, fuck you. But you know, but before they can argue about it, Barrage then gets shot in the head and dies. Well, that was a thing. I'll give it to him. I wasn't expecting it. Also, you never find out who shot him. He just randomly gets shot. Anyway, then the castle guards find Astro. They're like, oh, Prince Barrage, we're so glad you're safe, come back to the castle with us. He's like, wait, no, it's a mistake, I'm not the prince, and they take him away anyway. Now he's in the castle, he meets the king. He's like, hey, this is awkward because you think I'm your son, and I'm not. Your son is dead. But they knew all along because the prince is kind of an asshole, and right away they're like, hey, you're not physically abusing the women of the castle. You can't be my son. So they're like, well, now that you're here, we can see that you can use that special weapon, the Orgu. The Orgu is a weapon that can be used to kill the aliens, and it only ever works for people who have the will to become king. They thought only Prince Barrage could use it, but after seeing Astro use it, they're like, hold on, maybe you don't have to be royal blood. Maybe if you're just cool enough, you can wield this weapon. So they team him up with Tiamat, the vice captain, and they're like, alright guys, go off and kill some aliens. And yeah, that's Barrage. And yeah, it's not good. Before we talk about the second half of this series, where it was clearly rushed and not really Horikoshi's fault. There is definitely a very clear reason why it was cancelled so early. Everything about this series just screams meh. Like an industrial planet called Industria, really, man? But just like, it's all just stuff I've seen before. You got aliens invading, you got a guy from the slums, Ratchet and Clank over here. The thing with him swapping places with the prince just like getting immediately killed, it's so weird. I really don't see the point in this at all. I think it would have been much better if the prince didn't exist at all and they were just like, hey, you Astro, turns out you're the real prince, whoa, and we're gonna take you away. Like, why didn't that just happen? Like the prince has such a meaningless role in this series. He's really only there to die. And yeah, when they go off fighting aliens, it's just generic battle manga shit that I've seen countless times before. The series really adds nothing new to the genre. It felt like I was just reading it on autopilot. I did not give a single shit about anything that was going on. Then, of course, oh shit, we need to end the series in a couple chapters. What do we do? I don't know, let's have a climax, let's get this big bad villain in, who's apparently been a big deal the whole time. Let's just have a final fight and end it. Yeah, let's go. And it's bad. Like I said, I won't fault Horikoshi for this, like, clusterfuck of an ending, but it is kind of his fault he went in this direction in the first place. And man, it's so rushed. Like, they're forcing backstories in as fast as they can. They're explaining things as fast as they can. Characters are developing at a rate that makes no sense at all. It's just all pretty whack, and the final chapters just suck ass. I mean, that's kind of to be expected for a series that gets cancelled right away. But, you know, there are a lot of really good manga series that are only a couple volumes long. Even if his hand was forced, I think he still could have done a better job wrapping it up. But yeah, there's really nothing special about this story at all. It's boring, it's cliched, but sometimes a boring and cliched story can be saved by its characters. And how do the characters in Barrage stack up? About as well as you would expect. So Astro's like, you know, your generic shonen battle manga character, but suck the life out of him. You know, I have problems with characters like Asta, like Meliodas, but at least they're colorful characters. There is nothing memorable about Astro at all. Just a completely bland character. His only real character trait is that he cares a lot about his family, which of course leads to some very cliched and cringy moments. Astro, you're the prince now, okay? You can't sacrifice your life for these peasant village folk. You're the only one who can wield this power. We need you alive. Stop being so reckless, you piece of shit. You underestimate the power. Anyway, then there's Tiamat. It's the guy who accompanies Astro along the way. He was the guy I was just alluding to who's like, Astro, you gotta be smart, okay? Stop just rushing into shit. Then a couple chapters later, we're already at the end of the series, and he's like, hey Astro, that's my boy, and all the time I've known you, I know you never give up on your Nakama. Good shit, man. Go defeat the villain. You also have generic female lead who gets introduced halfway through. Nothing memorable about her either. She's just, you know, your standard badass female character who don't need no man. She has a tragic backstory. You know. The only other character really worth talking about is the villain. Alright, now's a good time to talk about some spoilers. If you don't want to be spoiled, you can skip here to the art section, but honestly, do you really care about spoilers to fucking Barrage? And I need to do this because things just get so ridiculous, I have to talk about it. So about halfway through the series, Astro is asked if he knows who his father is, or has a father or whatever. And he's like, no, but there was this one dude who's like a father to me. Because he would always check up on me, you know, when I was living in the slums, when I was taking care of these kids, you know. He was a cool dude. And we see this guy. He's got fucking devil horns. Like, no shit, he's evil. His name is Black. Could you be more subtle, Horikoshi? And lo and behold, turns out he's the massive villain of the whole time. He, like, invaded this city where they are at the end. But that's not all. That's not all. Now you've probably already even guessed this twist. I know I did after chapter 1. Black reveals to Astro that the entire time he was actually the real Prince Barrage. What? Do you mean to tell me that the series Barrage was actually named after the main character and not a character who gets killed almost instantly and has no significance on the plot? Now, I of course guessed this from the beginning, but I was of course wondering, well, who is this other dude? Or were they twins, separated at birth or something? Or is it just a coincidence they look alike? Well, you see, it turns out that Black used to be on the King's Guard, and he's like, man, man, humans suck ass. When Astro was born, he's like, man, I can't have you growing up in this shit show. So he like takes him away to the slums, and then he uses dark energy, that's seriously what it's called, to create a human baby that's an exact copy of Astro, except he's a dick. Like this motherfucker just creates life, and it's dark energy. What? Yeah, they have a final fight. He gets like one-shotted or something. It was some bullshit. I will give it this though. It was still significantly better than the Blood War. As for the art, it's alright. I'm a big fan of Horikoshi's style. But here, of course, it was several years ago. He wasn't nearly as good of an artist as he is now. But it's still solid. There was never any moments that stood out to me as being bad. It's definitely not the most interesting thing to look at. The action scenes are only okay, and the character designs really just feel like prototypes for the My Hero designs. But overall, it's serviceable and probably the most commendable thing about this manga. So those are my thoughts on Barrage. A bit of a weird one. Maybe a bit unfair to go after a series that was cancelled after 2 volumes. Just forgettable, boring. Not much to it. 4 out of 10. If you're curious though, you want to check out Horikoshi's previous work, you know, you can go read it. It's very short, like you take it out in an hour or 2. It's on of course the Shonen Jump app. You pay $2 a month, you get access to the whole thing. And it's still in print by Viz for whatever reason. I don't think many people are buying it. A lot of people probably don't even know that the series exists. But yeah, it's a thing you can buy if you really want to. For alternative series to check out, I'd obviously point towards My Hero. You know, I hear that when Barrage got cancelled, Horikoshi got depressed. You know, he didn't make another manga for 2 years afterwards. Like, the series was obviously misguided, but I'm sure he had a lot of passion for it. And I am very happy that he eventually did find what he was good at in My Hero Academia. It's a really great battle manga with likable characters, a really interesting story that really flips shonen cliches on their head. Oh, I just got it. The reason that Barrage isn't as good is because it doesn't have a Mineta equivalent, of course. Anyway, that'll do it. Thank you all so much for watching. You can leave your thoughts in the comments below, and I will see you guys very soon, because I hear that there's some Twilight shit about to end that I really gotta jump on, so I'll see you then.